Hello my friends, welcome to the first edition of Roy's Test Kitchen, and for my first video I decided to come at you with Chicken Francese, or Chicken Francese, or Chicken French, I don't know. Look, I'm from Deep East Texas, we're not great with correct word pronunciations. How some of us can squeeze an R sound into the word wash is beyond me, but I'm pretty sure you didn't play this video to discuss Southern dialect. This dish got put on my radar by a friend of mine who's originally from the Northeast. He said it's a classic Italian-American dish that originated in the New York area. It's chicken cutlets cooked in a simple flour and egg wash and a white wine lemon butter sauce, and it's become one of my weekly go-to dinners. It's quick, it's easy, it's absolutely delicious, and it gives you a cheap excuse to buy some wine. So let's get into it. I've got an 8-ounce chicken breast that I butterflied, and I pounded it out into somewhere between a 1.5 inch in thickness. And we're seasoning that up with some kosher salt and some freshly cracked black pepper. By the way, accidentally dropping a huge amount of pepper on the end of one of the cutlets is a completely optional step in the process. But it's also a pretty quick fix. All you have to do is just scrape off the excess with your tongs, and you can just use that to season the other side of the chicken. And I like a little extra black pepper anyway, so no harm, no foul. No pun intended. So now we're going to move on to our egg wash station. I've got 2 large eggs, I've got a 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour, and I've got both of them seasoned with salt and pepper. And if you're asking how much salt and pepper to use, I'm going to leave that up to you, because everyone's a little different on that. All right, your salt intake is between you, your taste buds, and your doctor. I don't have a dog in that. So we're going to get this egg whisked up really well with a couple of teaspoons of fresh minced Italian parsley, just to give it some color and maybe a little extra flavor. And then we're going to get the chicken cutlets coated in all-purpose flour, and then we'll get it in the egg wash, and the egg wash will stick to that flour. And you might want to use a little wider dish to put the egg wash in than I did. That way you're not having to move one piece of chicken out of the way for the other, because I'm sure you're going to want to make more than just this swinging bachelor single serve that I've got here. And I will put in the description on how to make this for 4. And with that, it is time to go to the pan. I have 3 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil on medium heat that I'm going to very carefully add my chicken cutlets to. And they're going to cook for about 4 minutes per side. I should add that your cooking time may vary depending on how thin you pound out your chicken. Like I said earlier, I pounded mine out somewhere between a 1/4 inch and a 1/2 inch in thickness. So if you pounded yours out thinner, it might not take quite as long. If you like yours thicker, you may need to give it an extra minute or so. And once the chicken is cooked on one side for 4 minutes, it's time to give it a flip to cook the other side. It was also at this point that I said, what the hell, and decided to add a couple of cloves of garlic to cook with it. Can you think of many dishes that have been absolutely ruined by adding a couple of garlic cloves? I didn't think so. And once the chicken is finished cooking on the other side, we can remove it along with the garlic cloves and most of the oil in the pan, so we can make our white wine lemon butter sauce. And we are going to do that by adding a 1/2 cup of dry white wine to the pan. Make sure you do this off the heat for the sake of your nose hairs and eyebrows. And we're also going to add a tablespoon of fresh lemon juice. You can add a little bit more if you want to, but that was just the right amount for my taste. I also added in those 2 garlic cloves that I cooked earlier. And we're going to let that white wine reduce by about 3/4. You want that down to kind of like a syrupy consistency to burn out all the alcohol. And once you do that, we're also going to add a 1/2 cup of chicken stock. And we're also going to add a teaspoon of fresh lemon zest. And we're going to put that on medium-high heat. You want to let that reduce down by about half, which I let mine reduce way too much because I got distracted. I was setting up the camera shot for the plating after I was done cooking. So I let this reduce down too much. I should have added a little splash of water or some extra chicken stock, but I didn't. I added a teaspoon of fresh minced Italian parsley. And then we're going to put those chicken cutlets back in there. Let those warm up and get coated in the sauce. And once we get the chicken back in there, it is time to throw in the butter, and we are going to throw in 3 tablespoons of cold butter. You want to make sure the butter is cold, and you want to make sure that you are keeping the butter moving around that pan. That's going to help that butter emulsify in with the sauce, and it's going to keep it from being kind of separated, and so you don't have like a greasy, buttery oil slick on top of the sauce. It's just going to make it better. And once you get that butter melted about halfway down, I gave the chicken a flip that way to make sure the chicken got coated on both sides with the sauce. And once that butter got all the way emulsified in the sauce, it was time to plate. By the way, I had this on low heat the entire time. I should mention that. You don't want it on high heat because that will make the butter separate from the sauce. So we're going to plate that up, and that just, oh man. I am making myself hungry just watching this video over again. I'm going to have to make this again for dinner tonight. It was so good. We put the sauce on top. I don't know why I said we instead of me. Apparently I'm Venom now. And then, of course, garnish it up with Gordon Ramsay's favorite garnish of all time, some fresh minced parsley on top. We know how much he loves that. And this is just the chicken, but if you're wondering what you could serve this with, anything just about. Some garlic mashed potatoes would be good with it. If you wanted to make like a double portion of the sauce from the recipe I'll put on and do it with some pasta, that would probably be great. Some sauteed spinach. Okay, I'm just gonna leave that flub in there because at this point I'm so tired of recording this voice over. So you're just gonna have to deal with bloopers at this point. Anyway, back to what I was saying. This was 100% delicious. I love this chicken so much, and like I said, I do this probably once a week now. It's one of my favorite dishes. It's quick, it's easy, and give it a shot. I know you're gonna like it. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Please do me a favor, like, subscribe. That's what makes the YouTube gods promote my stuff more. So I hope you enjoyed everything, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much. Good night.